As the world outside grows quiet, another world often begins to stir within, doesn't it? The world where you are just a little different, a little simpler, where life seems to flow with an ease you can only imagine. The one where you are normal. What if, just for tonight, we could look upon this visitor, this other you, not as a painful reminder of who you are not, but as a tender map, lovingly pointing to all the places you have longed to feel at home. Perhaps over these next moments, as sleep begins to draw near, we can find a different kind of peace. Not the peace of finally becoming someone else, but the profound, quiet relief of coming home to the person you already are. A space where you can finally lay down the heavy work of trying and simply be. So let's begin there, with the simple, unconditional fact of your own presence. Right here, right now. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to fix or figure out. Your only task is to allow yourself to be held by this bed, by this moment. Feel the weight of your body making its impression on the surface beneath you. Notice the points of contact. Your head on the pillow, your shoulders, the length of your spine, your hips, the weight of your legs and heels. Each point is a small anchor holding you to the present. This is real. This solidness is real. The fantasy can wait. For now, let's stay with what's true. Let your body feel its own weight, its own reality. You have carried it through another day. A day that may have required you to be a certain way, to hold yourself together, to present a version of yourself that felt safe or acceptable or strong. That work is done now. You can set it all down. You can let the armor you wore today simply melt away. Let's start with the small places where we hold the day's efforts. Bring your awareness to your face, to the muscles around your eyes. Let them soften. Let go of the focus, the screen gazing, the careful watching. Allow the tiny muscles in your forehead to smooth out. And now, your jaw. This is a place that holds so much. The unspoken words, the gritted teeth of getting through a difficult moment, the tension of a forced smile. Just allow it to soften. Let there be a little space between your teeth. As your jaw releases, you might feel a wave of release travel down your neck, a subtle but real letting go. And then feel that wave of softness continue down into your shoulders. All day, they may have been held up, braced for impact, carrying burdens both seen and unseen. The burden of expectation, the burden of comparison, the burden of feeling just a little out of step with everyone else. Give them permission now to drop, to release, to become heavy and wide, melting down and away from your ears. Feel the support of the bed rising up to meet them, to take their full weight. You do not have to hold them up any longer. The world can turn without your shoulders holding it. Let this feeling of release travel down your arms, all the way to your hands and your fingertips. Your hands that have done so much today. Typing, holding, working, caring. Perhaps they have been clenched in a pocket or held tightly in a fist of anxiety. Allow them to open. Let your fingers curl naturally, softly. Feel the air on your skin. These hands are your hands. They are part of this body that is your home. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to change it, just notice it. The gentle rise and fall of your chest or your abdomen. This breath has been with you all day, through every moment of ease and every moment of struggle. It has been your constant quiet companion. It doesn't ask you to be normal. It doesn't judge you. It simply breathes you, in and out, a rhythm that is uniquely yours. No one else in the entire world is breathing your breath, in this room, in this moment. This is the rhythm of your life, right here. Each breath in is a gentle receiving. Each breath out is a gentle letting go. You can let go of the day, let go of the conversations, let go of the moments where you felt you weren't enough or were perhaps too much. Breathe them out. They are in the past. They have no power here, in the sanctuary of your rest. Imagine the surface you are lying on is a safe and sturdy island in the middle of a vast, quiet ocean. This is your island. Here, you are the only inhabitant, and you are welcome here, exactly as you are. All parts of you are welcome. The tired part, the sensitive part, the part that dreams of being someone else, all of it can rest here safely. The room around you holds you too. The quiet darkness, the subtle sounds of the house settling, the temperature of the air on your skin. It is all part of this safe harbor. The walls don't ask you to perform. The ceiling doesn't judge your thoughts. The blankets offer warmth without condition. In this space, you are free from the gaze of the world. You are simply here, and that is enough. It has always been enough. The feeling of being different is a feeling that arises in comparison to others. But here, tonight, there are no others. There is only you. There is a profound difference between the feeling of being alone and the feeling of being at home with yourself. Tonight, we are cultivating that feeling of being at home, of belonging first and foremost to yourself. This body is your home. This breath is your anchor. This quiet moment is your sanctuary. Feel the gentle pull of gravity, a constant, reassuring presence holding you to the earth. It asks for nothing. It simply holds you. Allow yourself to be held. Let go of the need to hold yourself up, to hold it all together. Just for tonight, let the bed, the room, the quiet night do the holding for you. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is no one else you need to become. Your only task is to rest, to surrender to the gentle weight of your own body, to the simple rhythm of your own breath, to the profound peace of just being here, without apology, without striving, and without the need for that other you to visit. Because tonight, this you, the real you, is more than enough. In this quiet, safe space you have created for yourself, something begins to soften. It is the feeling of a great weight being set down. A weight you may not have even been fully aware you were carrying until this very moment of its release. This is the weight of being you in a world that so often seems to ask for something else. Let your body feel the truth of that weight, just for a moment, as a physical sensation. A heaviness in the chest, a deep weariness in your bones. It is the exhaustion that comes from a long day of performance, a performance so subtle, so practiced, you might not even call it by that name. But it is a performance nonetheless. And now, the curtain has fallen. The audience has gone home. The stage is empty. And you are here, in the quiet dark, finally allowed to be off script. As you lie here, let's gently, without judgment, look at the shape of that weight. What is it made of? For many of us, it is made of the feeling of being just a little bit wrong. Maybe for you, the feeling is one of being too sensitive. You feel the world with an intensity that others don't seem to share. A sad song can bring tears. A harsh word can feel like a physical blow. The beauty of a sunset can fill you with an ache that is almost painful in its sweetness. You feel the unspoken emotions in a room as if they were your own. It can feel like walking through life with no protective layer, everything touching you directly, deeply. And you look at others who seem to move through the world with a thicker skin, and you wonder, why am I made this way? Or perhaps for you, the feeling is one of being too quiet. In a world that values quick replies and loud opinions, your thoughtful silence can be mistaken for disinterest, or judgment, or emptiness. You might feel a pressure to speak, to fill the space, but the words don't come easily, or they feel clumsy and small compared to the rich, complex world inside you. So you remain quiet and feel the gap between yourself and others grow wider with every passing moment of silence. You watch groups of people laughing, their conversation flowing like an easy river, and you feel like you are standing on the bank, unsure how to jump in. Maybe the weight is the feeling of being too much. Your emotions are too big. Your passion is too intense. Your questions are too deep and unsettling. You have learned, perhaps, to shrink yourself, to make your presence smaller, your voice softer, your needs quieter, for fear of overwhelming those around you. You carry a secret apology in your heart, an apology for simply taking up space, for having a presence that feels too large, too unwieldy, too much, and the effort of containing all of that energy, all of that life, is profoundly tiring. And for so many of us, underneath it all is the quiet, persistent hum of not being enough, not clever enough, not successful enough, not disciplined enough, not interesting enough. It is a constant, quiet companion, this feeling of inadequacy. It is the voice that whispers comparisons, that points out all the ways you fall short of that idealized, normal person who visits your thoughts in the moments before sleep. And with these feelings comes a quiet, hidden grief. It is not a loud, dramatic sorrow, but a subtle ache in the center of your chest. It is the grief for the life you think you should have. The life where things are easy, where you fit in without trying, where you don't have to second-guess every interaction, where your own mind feels like a peaceful, simple place to be. You are grieving a fantasy, but the grief itself is very, very real. Allow yourself to feel it, just for a moment, here in the safety of your bed. Acknowledge that tender, sore place within you that mourns for a different experience of life. There is no shame in this grief. It is a testament to your deep human longing to belong, to be at ease, to be understood. It is a sign that you have a heart that yearns for connection and peace. And it is this very same heart that has borne the immense exhaustion of it all. Think of the energy it takes, the energy to constantly translate yourself for others, to explain your sensitivity or to hide it, to push yourself to be more outgoing when all you want is quiet, to dim your own light so as not to overwhelm, to constantly monitor yourself, checking, was that the right thing to say? Did I seem strange? Did they notice how anxious I am? This is the work you have been doing all day, every day, perhaps for your entire life. It is the invisible labor of navigating the world in a body and mind that feel out of step. It is no wonder you are tired. It is not a failure to be this tired. It is the natural, logical result of carrying such a heavy load. Here and now, you can put it all down. Let the mask you wore today fall away. Let the character you played rest. Let the weight of it all sink down, through you, into the mattress, and away into the earth below. It is not yours to carry tonight. Tonight, There is no one you need to be. There's no performance required. Here, in this bed, in this breath, in this moment, you are simply allowed to exist. Unedited, unapologetic, just you. And all of you is welcome here. As you rest here, feeling the last echoes of that heavy weight dissolving, let a new feeling begin to settle in its place. It is the feeling of deep, quiet understanding, a gentle inner voice that says, of course you feel this way. It makes perfect, logical sense. For so long, you may have carried a secret suspicion that your feelings were a personal failing, that your struggle to fit in, your sensitivity, your quietness, your intensity, that it was all somehow your fault, a flaw in your design. Tonight, let's gently set that idea aside. Let's consider instead that your feelings are not a sign that something is wrong with you, but a perfectly natural response to navigating a world that often has very narrow, very rigid ideas about what a good life is supposed to look like. Think about the world we live in. From a very early age, we are shown a picture of normal. We see it in movies, we read it in books, we absorb it from the culture all around us. The normal person is confident, but not too loud. They are successful, but seem to achieve it with ease. They are happy, but in a way that is steady and uncomplicated. They have lots of friends and a bustling social life. Their path through life seems to be a straight, well-paved road. They don't seem to be wrestling with the same deep questions, the same intense emotions, the same feeling of being an outsider that you might be. And when your inner experience doesn't match that picture, what is the conclusion you are supposed to draw? The conclusion, so often, is that you are the one who is off course. You are the one who is doing it wrong. Your sensitivity is a weakness. Your need for solitude is antisocial. Your deep emotions are overly dramatic. Your unique way of seeing the world is just strange. The world presents a very small box and says, this is how you should be. And if you are a person with a rich, complex inner world, a person who feels things deeply, a person whose mind is a winding river rather than a straight highway, you will never fit comfortably inside that box. And the struggle to try and squeeze yourself in, to trim away the parts of you that don't conform, is the very source of the exhaustion you feel. It makes sense that you feel this way. It is not a personal failure. It is the friction between your authentic self and a world that wasn't built for your kind of depth. And with this friction comes a quiet companion. Self-blame. It is a voice so familiar you might not even notice it's there anymore. It's the background static of your inner world. It whispers, why can't you just be more like them? Or, if you were just a little less sensitive, this wouldn't hurt so much. Or, you should try harder to be social, to put yourself out there. This voice of self-blame is a ghost. It is the internalized voice of a world that didn't know how to make space for you. You heard its messages, you saw its expectations, and you learned to believe that the problem was you. You became your own harshest critic, your own most demanding judge. But what if that voice is not the voice of truth? What if it's just a recording, playing on a loop? A recording of old fears, of old misunderstandings, of a culture that often values surface-level simplicity over profound, messy complexity. Tonight, we are not going to argue with that voice. We are not going to fight it. We are simply going to see it for what it is. An old habit, a learned pattern of thought. And we are going to offer a new voice, a quieter, kinder, more truthful one. A voice that says, with gentle authority, your feelings are a natural response to navigating a world that doesn't always understand your depth. Let that sink in. Let it be a balm on those sore, tender places inside you. Your feelings are not the problem. Your sensitivity is not the problem. Your uniqueness is not the problem. The problem is trying to live as if you were someone you are not. Imagine wearing a pair of shoes that are 2 sizes too small. You would limp. You would be in pain. Your walk would be awkward. You wouldn't be able to run or move freely. Would you blame your feet for this? Would you say, my feet are wrong? They are flawed? Of course not. You would recognize immediately that the shoes are the problem. They simply do not fit. Your experience of feeling different is just like this. You have been trying to cram your beautiful, unique soul into a pair of shoes that were never meant for you. The pain you feel, the exhaustion, the self-blame, it all comes from the ill-fitting shoes, not from your feet. So, here in the quiet of your own room, you can finally take the shoes off. You can let your true self breathe. You can wiggle your toes. You can feel the relief of no longer contorting yourself to fit an external expectation. It is okay. It has always been okay to be you. You were never broken. You were simply a deep and soulful person trying to make your way in a world that often prefers the shallow end of the pool. It makes sense that you got tired. It makes sense that you felt alone. And it makes sense that you started to believe the problem was you. But tonight, a new understanding can begin to dawn. A gentle acceptance that you are not a problem to be solved, but a person to be understood. And the first, most important person to offer that understanding is you. As this gentle understanding settles into the quiet spaces of your heart, something else begins to shift. It is the feeling of isolation, the sharp, painful belief that you are the only one who feels this way. As you lie in the dark, imagining that other, normal life, it can seem as if every other person in the world is sleeping soundly, their minds untroubled, their place in the world secure. It can feel like you are on a tiny, remote island, looking across a vast ocean at a mainland, bustling with a life you cannot reach. This feeling of being singularly alone in your struggle is perhaps the heaviest part of the weight you carry. But now, let's zoom out. Let's gently lift our perspective up from this bed, up from this room, and look out over the quiet landscape of the night. Imagine all the other windows, dark against the night sky. In this very city, in this country, all around the world. Behind so many of those windows, there are people just like you, lying awake. And what are they thinking about? What phantoms are visiting them in the quiet hours? A young artist lies in her small apartment, imagining a life where she had a real job, a steady income, a life that didn't require so much faith and frighten her parents. She imagines being the kind of person who finds fulfillment in a predictable, stable career, and she wonders what is wrong with her that she can't. A new father lies next to his sleeping wife and baby, his heart filled with a love so fierce it terrifies him. And yet, he imagines a life where he was the carefree, adventurous man he used to be before the immense weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders. He feels guilty for this fantasy, believing it makes him a bad father. A quiet man in his 50s, who has lived a good and decent life, lies awake wondering what it would have been like to be bolder, to have taken more risks, to have spoken his mind more often. He imagines a version of himself who is the life of the party, charismatic and confident, and he feels a quiet grief for the person he never became. A student, overwhelmed by pressure, imagines a life where they are effortlessly brilliant, where studying is easy and exams are not a source of paralyzing anxiety. They look at their peers who seem to be gliding through, and they feel a deep, burning shame for their own struggle. You are not alone in this. This nightly ritual of imagining a different self is not a strange, personal quirk. It is one of the most profoundly human things we do. You are part of a vast, silent fellowship of souls who lie awake and wrestle with the gap between the life they have and the one they sometimes long for. We all do it. The successful CEO imagines a simple life in a small town. The person surrounded by family imagines a life of solitary freedom. We all carry these ghost lives within us. And in realizing this, the shame can begin to dissolve. The shame that told you this longing was a sign of your failure, of your ungratefulness, of your fundamental flaw. It is none of those things. It is simply a manifestation of the human heart's infinite capacity to wonder, to dream, to question, what if? Releasing the shame around this longing is like unlocking a door you never knew was locked. Behind it is not a void, but a vast, shared landscape of human experience. You are not an anomaly. You are a part of the whole. Think of a great, ancient forest. From the outside, it might look like a single, uniform entity. But when you step inside, you see the truth. No two trees are alike. There is the tall, straight pine, reaching for the sun. There is the gnarled, old oak, its branches twisted into 100 beautiful, improbable shapes by a lifetime of wind and weather. There is the slender birch, with its paper-thin bark, seeming so fragile and yet so resilient. There are trees that grow in the deep shade, and trees that thrive in the open sun. Some have deep roots that hold them fast. Others have shallow roots that spread wide. Is the twisted oak a failed pine? Is the shade-loving fern less than the sun-loving flower? Of course not. Each one is a perfect expression of its own nature, responding to the unique conditions of its own small patch of earth. Each one has its own story, its own beauty, its own purpose. And the forest would not be a forest without this incredible diversity. Its richness, its resilience, its very life depends on the uniqueness of every single tree. You are like one of those trees. You have your own shape, your own story, your own way of being in the world. The things you see as flaws, the twists and turns of your character, the sensitivity of your bark, are all part of your unique design, shaped by the specific weather of your life. Trying to be normal is like the oak tree trying to be a pine. It is a futile and painful struggle against your own nature, and it is a struggle you can now begin to let go of. You belong to the human forest. Your unique shape is not a mistake. It is a vital part of the whole. Your quietness, your intensity, your sensitivity, these are not errors in your code. They are simply your way of being a tree. By seeing your own longing as part of this shared human condition, you are no longer an isolated island. You are connected. You are part of a vast and beautiful ecosystem of souls, each with their own secret dreams, their own hidden struggles, and their own unique beauty. And in that connection, there is a profound peace, the peace of belonging, not by changing who you are, but by finally, gently, accepting yourself as you are. A unique and irreplaceable part of the great, sprawling forest of humanity. As the feeling of shared humanity wraps around you like a warm blanket, chasing away the chill of isolation, let's bring our attention back inward. Back to the specific qualities within you that have felt the most like problems to be solved. We have acknowledged the weight of them. We have understood where that feeling comes from, and we have seen that we are not alone. Now let's take the next gentle step, a step away from judgment and towards simple, open-hearted curiosity. For so long, the relationship you've had with these parts of yourself has likely been one of conflict. You've judged them, resented them, tried to hide them or fix them. This is like being at war with a part of your own country. It is an exhausting and unwinnable battle. Tonight, we are going to call a truce. We are not trying to force a feeling of love or even acceptance just yet. That can feel like too big a leap. We are simply going to lay down our weapons and approach with a white flag of curiosity. Let's choose one of those traits, one you have long labeled as a flaw. Perhaps it is that high sensitivity we spoke of earlier, the quality that makes you feel emotions so intensely, that makes you keenly aware of the atmosphere in a room, that makes you easily overwhelmed by noise or crowds or violence in a movie. For years, the story you've told yourself about this sensitivity is that it is a weakness. It makes you fragile. It makes you difficult. It holds you back from being the tough, resilient person you think you should be. That is the story of judgment. Now, let's try the story of curiosity. Without trying to change a thing, without needing it to be a secret superpower, let's just ask a gentle question. What does this sensitivity allow me to experience? What does it let me see that others might miss? Think about it. Because you are so sensitive, you are the person who notices the subtle shift in a friend's tone of voice and knows instinctively that something is wrong. You are the one who can offer a word of comfort before they have even spoken their pain aloud. Because of your sensitivity, you are moved to tears by a piece of music or a line of poetry. You are not just hearing it or reading it, you are experiencing it on a cellular level. You are having a richer, deeper, more vibrant experience of the world's beauty. It is a high-definition way of living. While others may be watching life on a small black and white television, your sensitivity gives you a front-row seat in a full-color, surround sound IMAX theater. It can be overwhelming, yes, but it is also incredibly rich. Because you are sensitive, you might be the person who feels a deep connection to animals or to nature. You can sit by the ocean and feel its vastness, not just as an idea, but as a physical sensation in your body. You can feel the quiet, ancient wisdom of a forest. This is a form of deep communication that is closed off to those who are less attuned. It is a source of profound comfort, wonder, and belonging in the world. Your sensitivity is not just about feeling pain more deeply. It is also about feeling joy, beauty, and connection more deeply. The two are inextricably linked. It is the very same finely tuned instrument that registers the sorrow that also registers the sublime. You cannot numb one without numbing the other. Let's put this into a simple affirmation, a seed of a new idea to plant in the quiet soil of your mind as you drift towards sleep. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a high-definition way of experiencing the world. You don't have to believe it fully right now. Just let the words rest there. Let them be a possibility. Let's take another trait. Perhaps you've judged yourself for being indecisive, for overthinking things. You see others make quick, confident choices, and you criticize yourself for your endless deliberation. The story of judgment says you are weak, you lack conviction. But what if we get curious? What does this tendency to think things through from every possible angle allow you to do? It allows you to see the nuance and complexity in situations that others miss. You are not trapped in black and white thinking. You can see the shades of gray. This makes you thoughtful. It makes you a good advisor. It makes you fair. Your ability to see a problem from 10 different perspectives means you are more likely to find a creative, compassionate solution. Your indecisiveness might actually be a profound capacity for careful, thorough, and empathetic consideration. It is a sign of a mind that is not satisfied with easy answers, a mind that respects the complexity of life. Again, we are not trying to deny the difficult side of this trait. The anxiety of overthinking is real. The paralysis of indecision is real. We are not ignoring that. We are simply turning the stone over in our hands to see the other side, the side that has been hidden in shadow. We are balancing the story. We are moving from a harsh, one-sided judgment to a gentle, two-sided curiosity. What if the very things you have been fighting against in yourself are not enemies at all? What if they are simply misunderstood parts of your own being, parts that carry hidden gifts? This shift from judgment to curiosity is a profound act of inner peacemaking. It is the beginning of the end of the inner war. You are simply inviting all parts of yourself to the table, not to be judged or fixed, but simply to be heard, to be understood. And in that quiet, curious listening, a new kind of self-acceptance can begin to take root. Following this thread of gentle curiosity, let's go a little deeper. Let's look at the things you might have labeled not just as flaws, but as weird. This is a word we often use for the parts of ourselves that feel truly alien, the parts we are most sure no one else could possibly understand. Your quirky sense of humor that only you seem to find funny. Your fascination with a topic that seems obscure to everyone else. The unique, non-linear way your thoughts connect. These are the corners of your inner world you might have learned to keep hidden for fear of being seen as strange or odd. The story of judgment says, this is not normal. Hide it. Suppress it. But the voice of curiosity asks a different question. What if these very things are the source code of my most unique gifts? Think about the creative people you admire most. Artists, writers, inventors, thinkers. Are they normal? Are their minds tidy, predictable, and straight? Almost never. Their genius lies precisely in their weirdness. It is their ability to see the world from a skewed angle, to make connections that no one else has made, that allows them to create something new. Their unique perspective is not a bug in their system. It is the entire operating system itself. That strange sense of humor you have, it might be the seed of a unique creative voice. It allows you to see the absurdity and the poetry in everyday life, a perspective that can lead to wit, to art, to a fresh way of communicating ideas. The way you can laugh at things others take seriously, and take seriously things others dismiss, is a form of intelligence. It is the ability to break free from conventional thinking. And that obscure hobby, that deep fascination with something niche and specific, that is not a waste of time. It is your mind's way of feeding itself, of exploring a unique corner of the universe. It is this kind of deep, passionate focus that leads to mastery, to expertise, to innovation. So many of the world's greatest discoveries came from someone following their weird curiosity down a rabbit hole that no one else thought was worth exploring. Your unique interests are not random quirks. They are signposts pointing toward your own particular form of genius. They are the clues to what makes your mind light up, what makes your soul feel alive. And what about the very structure of your thoughts? Perhaps you have berated yourself because your mind doesn't work in a neat linear fashion. You don't go from point A to point B to point C. Your mind is more of a wanderer. It takes detours. It follows side paths. It notices the scenery along the way. While others are racing to the destination, you are gathering interesting stones, noticing the patterns of light through the leaves, following the song of a bird. In a world obsessed with efficiency and productivity, this way of being can feel like a deficiency. But what if it isn't? Let's reframe your inner world. It is not a mistake. It is a rich, intricate landscape. Imagine your mind is not a straight, paved superhighway, designed for speed and efficiency. That is just one kind of mind. Your mind is a beautiful, winding river. A river does not follow a straight path. It meanders. It curves. It responds to the landscape it moves through. It pools in some places, becoming deep and still, allowing for reflection. It rushes through others, creating energy and change. It picks up silt and nutrients from one place and deposits them in another, creating fertile ground. It carves its own unique path through the world, a path that is both logical and mysterious, shaped by a deep, inherent wisdom. Your mind works like this. Your distractions are not distractions. They are the river exploring a new tributary. Your moments of deep, focused thought are the river pooling, gathering depth. The unexpected connections you make are the river bringing nutrients from one area of your knowledge to fertilize another. The path you take to a conclusion may be longer and more scenic than the highway, but the perspective you gain along the way is infinitely richer. You have been judging your river for not being a highway, but a river has its own purpose, its own beauty, its own power. A highway can only take you to predetermined destinations. A river can create entirely new landscapes. It can support a whole ecosystem of life. To see your inner world this way is to stop fighting its nature and start appreciating its unique geography. You can stop trying to force it into a straight line and instead learn to navigate its currents. You can trust its winding path, knowing that it is leading you somewhere beautiful and unique, somewhere the highway could never go. The very things you have labeled weird about yourself, your humor, your passions, your thought processes, are not liabilities. They are the essential features of your inner landscape. They are what make your mind a fascinating and fertile place. To embrace them is to embrace your own originality. It is to give yourself permission to be the author of your own life, not just a character in someone else's play. It is to understand that your purpose is not to be a perfect copy of someone else, but to be the most authentic, fully realized version of yourself. And that process begins with this simple, radical act, looking at the weirdest parts of yourself, not with shame, but with curiosity, with appreciation, and perhaps, eventually, with a deep and abiding love. These are not your flaws. They are your signatures. They are the brushstrokes that make the masterpiece of you unlike any other. As we learn to look upon our unique inner landscapes with curiosity instead of judgment, another layer of understanding begins to unfold. We start to see that the very qualities we have struggled with the most are often deeply, inextricably connected to our greatest strengths. They are not separate things. They are two sides of the very same coin. Let's return to that high sensitivity we explored earlier. For so long, you may have only seen the side of the coin that says burden. It makes you easily overwhelmed. It makes you feel things too deeply. It makes you vulnerable. You have felt the pain of this side of the coin so acutely that you may have wished you could just get rid of it altogether. But now, let's slowly, gently, turn the coin over in our hands. What is written on the other side? On the other side of this profound sensitivity is an equally profound capacity for empathy. Think about it. Because you know what it feels like to be hurt, you are incredibly careful with the hearts of others. You choose your words with care. You listen with your whole being. You don't just hear the words someone is saying. You feel the emotion behind them. You can sit with a friend in their sorrow without needing to rush in and fix it, because your own sensitivity has taught you that sometimes the greatest gift is simply a quiet, understanding presence. You have become a safe harbor for other people. They know, on an intuitive level, that they can bring their messy, complicated feelings to you, and you will not judge them or turn them away. Why? Because you understand. Your sensitivity is the very thing that allows you to understand. It is not a weakness. It is the source of your incredible capacity for compassion. You have been able to show up for others in their darkest moments precisely because you have navigated so much of your own inner darkness. You know the territory, the pain you have felt, the loneliness, the feeling of being misunderstood. All of this has not been for nothing. It has been a kind of training, a deep, soulful education in the human condition. It has carved out a space within you, a space of deep knowing that allows you to hold the pain of others with grace and strength. So when you find yourself wishing you could be less sensitive, remember what you would be giving up. You would be giving up this extraordinary gift of empathy. You would be turning off the very radar that allows you to connect with others on the most meaningful, soul-to-soul level. Let's plant another seed of truth, another gentle affirmation to carry you into sleep. You have an incredible capacity for compassion because you have felt things so deeply. Feel the simple, profound truth of that statement. All the times you have offered a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, a word of encouragement when someone needed it most, honor those moments. Recognize that these acts of kindness were not random. They flowed directly from the wellspring of your own sensitive heart. You did not have to learn compassion from a book. You learned it by living it. Your life, with all its emotional intensity, has been a masterclass in empathy. And what about the trait of overthinking, of seeing every possible angle of a situation? The side of the coin you've been looking at says anxiety and indecision. It feels like a curse. But let's turn that coin over. What is on the other side? On the other side is insight, wisdom, the ability to see the big picture. Because you think things through so thoroughly, you are often the person who foresees a problem before it happens. You are the one who considers the unintended consequences of an action. You bring a level of thoughtfulness and care to your work, your relationships, your decisions that is rare and incredibly valuable. While others might rush ahead, driven by impulse, you provide the crucial balance of careful consideration. Your mind, which you have perhaps criticized as being too busy or too anxious, is actually a powerful tool for perception and analysis. You don't just see the surface of things, you see the intricate machinery working underneath. This makes you a wonderful strategist, a trusted confidant, a wise advisor. Your ability to hold complexity, to wrestle with ambiguity, is not a flaw. It is a profound intellectual and emotional strength. We can see this pattern everywhere. The part of you that feels like a quiet, withdrawn observer, that is also the part of you that is a deep, attentive listener and a keen observer of human nature. The part of you that has a weird sense of humor, that is also the part that brings levity, creativity, and a fresh perspective to stale situations. The part of you that feels too much, too passionate, that is also the part that loves fiercely, that fights for what is right, that brings incredible energy and life force to everything you do. They are not separate. The weakness and the strength are one. They grow from the very same root. To try and uproot the part you don't like would be to kill the part you cherish most. The invitation, then, is not to fix yourself, but to integrate yourself. To see these pairs not as good and bad, but as the complete, dynamic, and beautiful paradox of who you are. Your empathy is the daughter of your pain. Your wisdom is the son of your anxiety. Your creativity is the child of your weirdness. By honoring the difficult experiences, you also honor the incredible strengths they have given you. You can begin to feel a sense of gratitude, not for the pain itself, but for the person it has helped you become. A person of depth, compassion, and wisdom. As you rest here, beginning to see the hidden strengths woven into the fabric of what you once called flaws, let's turn our attention to one more profound truth. Let's acknowledge the sheer, unadorned strength it has taken just to be you. We live in a world that so often rewards conformity. It praises the smooth stone over the one with interesting, jagged edges. It encourages us to follow the well-trodden path. And in the midst of all that pressure, you have continued, day after day, to be yourself. This is not a small thing. It is an act of quiet, immense courage. Think for a moment of all the subtle and not so subtle messages you have received throughout your life telling you to be different. A parent who wished you were more outgoing. A teacher who didn't understand your quiet thoughtfulness. A group of friends who didn't share your deep feelings or quirky interests. The endless parade of images in the media showing a version of happiness that doesn't quite resonate with your soul. Each of these moments was a small pressure, a subtle push to abandon your own nature and conform. And yet, you are still here. Your sensitive heart is still beating. Your unique mind is still thinking its unique thoughts. Your deep river is still flowing. You may have tried to hide parts of yourself. You may have tried to build dams or change your course, but your fundamental nature has endured. This endurance is not a passive thing. It is an active, ongoing process of resilience. It is the resilience of a wildflower growing in a crack in the pavement. Everything in its environment says, you don't belong here. This is not the right place for you to grow. But the wildflower, following its own inner imperative, keeps growing anyway, reaching for the sun. You are that wildflower. You have shown up every day in a world that did not always feel like a welcoming garden, and you have continued to be you. This is an incredible feat of strength. Let's honor, just for a moment, all the times you felt misunderstood, but didn't let it completely extinguish your inner light. Think of a time in your childhood when you felt your feelings were dismissed as too much, but you went to your room and felt them anyway, staying true to your own emotional reality. Think of a time in a meeting or a social gathering when you held your tongue because you knew your thought was too complex or out there for the group, but you didn't discard the thought itself. You held it, valued it, and explored it later in the privacy of your own mind. Each of these moments was a small act of preserving the sanctity of your own inner world. It was a quiet declaration: even if you don't understand me, I will not completely abandon myself. And let's honor the times you felt utterly alone. The times when the feeling of being different was so sharp and painful, it felt like a physical wall between you and the rest of the world. And yet, you survived those moments. You woke up the next morning. You got out of bed. You breathed in and out. You found a way to keep going. This is the quiet courage that doesn't win medals or get headlines, but it is the most fundamental courage of all. It is the courage to persist, the courage to stay alive, not just physically, but to keep your unique spirit alive in the face of isolation and misunderstanding. You have been your own quiet champion, your own steadfast guardian, in ways you have probably never given yourself credit for. The version of you that lies here tonight is a survivor. You have survived the 1,000 tiny paper cuts of not quite fitting in. You have survived the deep aches of loneliness. You have survived the exhaustion of trying to be someone you're not. And you have survived the harsh voice of your own inner critic. All of this has forged a strength in you that is deep and quiet and profound. It may not be the loud, flashy strength the world so often celebrates. It is a different kind of strength. It is the strength of the deep ocean currents, not the crashing waves on the surface. It is the strength of the ancient tree's roots, not the leaves that flutter in the wind. It is a resilient, enduring, and powerful force. As you lie here, feel that strength in your body. Feel it as a quiet, steady warmth in the center of your chest. This is the strength that has carried you this far. It is the part of you that has always known, on some deep, instinctual level, that your uniqueness was not a mistake. It is the part of you that has held on, even when you felt like letting go. Acknowledge this strength. Thank it. It has been your most loyal companion. And let the understanding sink in that you are so much stronger than you think. You have not just been passively enduring your life. You have been actively, courageously navigating it with a set of maps that only you could read. The journey has not been easy, but look at you. You are still here. Your heart is still full of longing and beauty. Your spirit is still uniquely, irrevocably, beautifully yours. And that is a victory worthy of the deepest honor and respect. As this deep appreciation for your own quiet strength settles in, let's take all these threads we've been exploring, the curiosity, the empathy, the resilience, and begin to weave them together. For so long, you have lived with a sense of inner division. There was the good, you, and the bad, you. The acceptable parts and the flawed parts. You have spent so much energy trying to promote one and suppress the other, living in a state of constant internal negotiation, or even civil war. But what if that division was never real? What if it was just a story you were told, a misunderstanding you inherited? Tonight, as you drift closer to the deep, healing wisdom of sleep, let's invite the possibility of integration, the possibility of becoming whole. We have seen how your sensitivity and your empathy are two sides of the same coin. We have seen how your overthinking and your wisdom are born from the same root. Now, let's take that understanding a step further. Your depth and your struggles are not just interconnected, they are one and the same thing. You cannot have one without the other. Your capacity to feel profound joy is directly proportional to your capacity to feel profound sorrow. Your ability to experience moments of transcendent beauty is completely tied to your vulnerability to the world's ugliness and pain. The very thing that makes life feel so exquisitely beautiful is the exact same thing that makes it feel so unbearably painful at times. It is all part of one single high-definition experience of being alive. To wish away your struggles would be to wish away your depth. It would be like asking for a mountain without its valleys. The valleys are what give the mountain its height, its grandeur. It is the contrast, the interplay of light and shadow that creates the breathtaking landscape. Your life, your personality is such a landscape. You have majestic peaks of insight, creativity, and compassion. And you have deep valleys of sadness, anxiety, and loneliness. You have been judging the valleys, wishing you could level them out and live on a flat, even plain. But a plain has none of the drama, none of the beauty, none of the perspective of the mountains. To accept your wholeness is to accept your entire inner geography, the peaks, the valleys, the winding rivers, and the dark, quiet forests. It is all you, and it is all magnificent. With this understanding, the deep, lifelong project of trying to fix yourself can finally begin to come to an end. Think of the immense amount of energy you have poured into this project. The self-help books, the resolutions, the constant self-monitoring, the promises to yourself that tomorrow you would be different, less sensitive, more confident, more normal. What if all that energy was not only exhausting, but also profoundly misguided? What if you were never a broken thing that needed fixing? What if you were simply a complex, beautiful, and whole being who was trying to live by an instruction manual written for a much simpler machine? Letting go of the need to be fixed is one of the most radical and liberating acts of self-love you can perform. It is a declaration of peace. It is laying down your arms in the long war against yourself. It doesn't mean you stop growing or learning. The mountain landscape is never static. It is always changing, always evolving with the seasons. But the change comes from a place of natural evolution, not from a place of violent self-rejection. You can now approach your growth not as a desperate attempt to fix your flaws, but as a loving gardener tending to a unique and precious plant. You learn what it needs: more sun, less sun, more water, different soil. You work with its nature, not against it. You don't scream at the rose bush for having thorns. You understand that the thorns are part of what protects its beautiful, vulnerable flowers. Feel the shift happening within you. It is the shift from striving to allowing, from resisting to accepting, from seeing yourself as a problem to be solved, to seeing yourself as a mystery to be explored. Let the phrase, "my whole self," become a gentle mantra in your mind. My whole self. This includes the part that is tired and the part that is vibrant, the part that is scared and the part that is courageous, the part that feels connected and the part that feels so very alone, the part that longs to be normal and the part that secretly rejoices in its own uniqueness. All of it is welcome. All of it belongs. As you begin to hold this sense of wholeness, the image of that other you, the normal you, may begin to seem a little less alluring, a little faded. You start to realize that in order to become that person, you would have to amputate huge, essential parts of yourself. You would have to sacrifice your depth, your empathy, your unique perspective. You would have to trade your magnificent mountainous landscape for a flat, predictable plain. And perhaps, for the first time, that trade no longer seems worth it. Perhaps the life you have, with all its messy, painful, beautiful complexity, is infinitely more valuable than the simple, uncomplicated fantasy. To be whole is to be real, and to be real is to be alive. And as you lie here, on the edge of sleep, you can rest in the profound peace of that reality. You are not a project. You are a person, whole, complete, and enough, right now, in this very moment. As this feeling of wholeness deepens, as you begin to embrace the entire landscape of yourself, we arrive at a very tender and important place. It is the place where we can finally say goodbye to the fantasy. We can let go of that other you, that ghost of a normal life that has haunted your quietest moments for so long. But this is not a harsh dismissal. It is not about banishing the fantasy with anger or frustration. That would be just another form of inner conflict. Instead, we are going to release it with the utmost gentleness, with a sense of love and gratitude for what it has taught us. This fantasy has been a companion. In its own way, it has been trying to help you. It was a map, remember? A map that pointed to your deepest longings. The longing for ease, the longing for belonging, the longing for peace. It was never the destination itself. It was only ever a signpost. And now that you have read the signpost, now that you understand what you truly yearn for, you no longer need to keep staring at it. You can begin the real journey of finding those feelings of ease and belonging right here, within the landscape of your own true self. So, let's give yourself full permission to grieve this imagined life. It is okay to feel a pang of sadness as you let it go. Grieving is not a sign of weakness. It is the process by which the heart makes space for something new. It is the honorable act of acknowledging a loss, even the loss of a dream. So let yourself feel it. The quiet ache for the simplicity you never had. The sorrow for the social ease that never came naturally. The wistfulness for a mind that was less of a wild, winding river and more of a calm, placid lake. Acknowledge these feelings. Let them wash over you without judgment. They are the final goodbyes to a dream that, while beautiful, was never truly meant for you. It was like a beautiful coat in a shop window that was never your size. You can admire it, you can appreciate its beauty, but you know, deep down, it would never fit you, and trying to wear it would only be uncomfortable and inauthentic. Releasing this fantasy is like waking from a long and vivid dream. When you first open your eyes, you might feel a little disoriented, a little sad that the dream world is gone. You might lie there for a few moments, still feeling the echoes of the dream's emotions. But then slowly, the reality of the morning begins to filter in. The feeling of the real blankets on your skin, the quality of the real light coming through the window, the sound of the real world waking up outside, and you realize that this, the real world, is where your life is. It may be less perfect than the dream, but it is solid. It is true. It is yours. Letting go of the normal life is this same process. You are gently, lovingly, allowing the dream to dissolve and are turning your full attention to the beautiful messy, imperfect, and utterly real life that is waiting for you right here. With every breath out, imagine you are releasing another thread of that old fantasy. Breathe out the need to be understood by everyone. Breathe out the pressure to be constantly happy and confident. Breathe out the belief that your path should look like anyone else's. Breathe out the shame of your sensitivity. Breathe out the fear of your own intensity. With each exhale, you are creating space, an empty, fertile space within you. And into this space, something new can begin to grow. The reality of who you are, the truth of your own experience. For so long, the fantasy has been taking up all the room. It was a beautiful but demanding guest who overstayed their welcome. Now, with the guest gone, you can finally begin to furnish the house of your own soul in a way that feels true to you. You can put your favorite things on the shelves, your quirky interests, your deep thoughts, your unique sense of humor. You can paint the walls with the colors of your true emotions, both the bright and the somber. You can fill the rooms with the music of your own soul. This process is not about failure. You did not fail to become the normal person. You have succeeded in beginning the much more important journey of becoming yourself. This is a moment of profound triumph, not defeat. You are choosing authenticity over illusion. You are choosing the real over the ideal. And in this choice lies a deep and abiding peace. The peace of no longer striving to be someone you are not. The relief of putting down the impossibly heavy burden of perfection. As the fantasy dissolves, like mist in the morning sun, notice the clarity that remains. You are left with yourself, just you, in your beautiful, complex, mountainous reality. And you may begin to notice that this reality is more than enough. It is rich, it is interesting, it is full of potential. The fantasy was a black and white photograph, beautiful but static. Your real life is a full-color, moving picture with a soundtrack, a complex plot, and a character, you, who is far more fascinating and heroic than the simple, one-dimensional character in the dream. You are trading a comforting bedtime story for the great, epic novel of your own life. And as you fall asleep tonight, you can do so with the quiet, powerful knowledge that you are finally ready to start reading it, to start living it as the hero you have always been. As the last shimmering threads of the old fantasy dissolve, notice the quality of the space that remains. It might feel a little empty at first, perhaps even a little stark. This is the natural feeling of a space that has been cleared of old furniture. But soon, a new feeling begins to arise in that quiet emptiness. It is a feeling of profound peace, of stillness. It is the quiet joy of belonging, finally and completely, to yourself. For your entire life, you may have been seeking a feeling of home. You looked for it in the approval of others, in achievements, in relationships, in the dream of being someone else. You have been searching for a place where you could finally put down your bags, take off your coat, and feel utterly, completely safe and accepted. What you are beginning to realize now, in this deep and quiet moment, is that the home you have been searching for is not a place outside of you. It has been here all along. It is you, your own body, your own mind, your own heart. This is your home. Let's cultivate that feeling of being at home within yourself right now. Bring your awareness back to your physical body. Feel the weight of it, the warmth of it. This body has been your faithful companion on every step of your journey. It has carried your tired mind and your aching heart. It has felt pleasure and pain. It has breathed for you. Its heart has beaten for you, without you ever having to ask. It has never once judged you. It is your most loyal and constant friend. Send a wave of gratitude and appreciation through your body. Thank it for its incredible resilience and wisdom. Feel the simple truth that you are not just in a body. You are your body. And in this body, you are home. Now bring your awareness to your breath, flowing in and out. This breath is the rhythm of your home. It is the gentle, steady sound of life happening within you. Each breath is a quiet confirmation that you are here. You are alive. You belong in this moment. There is no need to be anywhere else. Follow the breath as it travels through you, a gentle tide of air and life. With every inhale, feel yourself drawing in a sense of peace and self-acceptance. With every exhale, feel yourself releasing any remaining echoes of the need to be different. You are simply settling more and more deeply into the reality of yourself, into the safety of your own being. Let's offer ourselves a gentle, powerful affirmation. Let the words sink down from your mind into the very cells of your body. Let them become a felt truth, not just an idea. It is safe to be me. I belong right here, in this body, in this life. Say it again to yourself, silently. It is safe to be me. Feel the resonance of those words. For so long, it has not felt safe to be you. You have felt the need to hide, to protect, to defend the most tender and unique parts of yourself. But here, tonight, in the sanctuary of your own being, you can declare a new truth. The war is over. The fortress can lower its drawbridge. It is safe now. It is safe to feel your feelings. It is safe to think your thoughts. It is safe to be your quirky, sensitive, deep, and wonderful self. You are the sole guardian of this inner kingdom now, and you have declared it a place of peace. I belong right here, in this body, in this life. Let go of the feeling that you are a visitor here, an imposter who is about to be found out. You are not. You are the rightful inhabitant. You have the key. This life, with all its specific challenges and beauties, is your life. It was given to you. You are not in the wrong story. You are exactly where you are meant to be. This feeling of belonging to yourself is the antidote to the painful longing to fit in everywhere else. When you feel at home in your own skin, the desperate need for external validation begins to fall away. It's not that you no longer value connection with others. It's that you are no longer dependent on their approval for your own sense of worth. You are connecting from a place of fullness, not from a place of neediness. You are a sovereign nation, seeking alliances, not a refugee seeking asylum. And with this shift comes a quiet, incredible relief. Feel it in your body. It is the feeling of a muscle that has been clenched for years finally letting go. The muscle of striving, the muscle of pretending, the muscle of self-judgment. The relief is so profound it is almost a physical sensation. A lightness in your chest, a softness in your belly, a deep, deep sense of ease. You can finally stop running. You can stop trying so hard. You have arrived. Not at some perfect, idealized destination, but at the simple, profound truth of your own being. And you discover, to your quiet astonishment, that it is a beautiful place to be. It is a place of integrity, of depth, of unique and irreplaceable beauty. It is home, and it has been waiting for you all along. As you drift towards sleep, rest in this feeling. Rest in the quiet joy of your own company. You are your own sanctuary, your own safe harbor. There is nowhere else you need to be. You are already there. As this quiet joy of belonging to yourself continues to deepen, it begins to move from an idea in your mind to a living reality in your body. This is the final stage of coming home. It is not just a psychological shift, but a deep, somatic settling. It is the feeling of your whole self finally, truly inhabiting your own skin. Imagine for a moment that for years you have been living in a beautiful house, but you have been huddled in just one small room, afraid to explore the rest. You believed the other rooms were strange or dangerous, but now you have opened the door, and you are beginning to walk through the entire house, your house, discovering its beauty and its strength. This is what is happening now. Your awareness is spreading from that small, cramped room of self-criticism and fear out into the whole of your being. Feel this acceptance settling into your very bones. Feel it as a kind of gentle, pleasant weight, a sense of groundedness, a feeling of being solid and real. For so long, you may have felt insubstantial, like a ghost, your energy scattered by the effort of trying to be someone else. Now, your energy is gathering, coming home to its center. Feel it in the core of your body, a quiet, steady presence. This is the feeling of your soul fully landing in your physical form. There is a deep, unshakable rightness to it, a sense of everything finally clicking into place. You are no longer at war with your body, with your nature. You are aligned. You are one. Let your breath be the anchor for this experience. Your breath, which has been your faithful companion through every moment of your life, is the perfect symbol of this integration. It is both physical and non-physical. It is the bridge between your inner world and the outer world. It is the rhythm of your unique existence. As you breathe in, feel that you are not just taking in air. You are taking in your own life, your own reality. You are saying yes to yourself, yes to this moment, yes to this body, yes to this mind. As you breathe out, you are releasing the last, faint remnants of the need for external validation. You are breathing out the question, am I doing it right? And breathing in the quiet, confident answer, I am simply doing it my way. The need for others to approve of you, to understand you completely, to validate your existence begins to feel less urgent, less essential. It is like you have been searching for a source of water in a desert, and you have finally found your own deep, internal well. The water from other sources is still pleasant. It is still nice to receive, but you are no longer dying of thirst. You have your own source of nourishment now. This self-sovereignty is not an aggressive or arrogant state. It is not about building walls to keep others out. In fact, it is the opposite. It is about feeling so secure within yourself that you can finally take down the walls. You can engage with the world from a place of quiet strength and open-heartedness, rather than from a place of fear and need. You no longer need people to see you in a certain way, so you can allow them to be who they are, and you can allow yourself to be who you are without apology. Imagine the relief. The sheer, simple relief of no longer needing to manage everyone's perception of you. The freedom of letting go of that impossible, exhausting task. You can show up to a situation and simply be present as yourself. If people understand and connect with you, that is a beautiful gift. If they don't, that is okay too. It is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a matter of resonance. You are a unique musical note, and you will naturally harmonize with some notes and not with others. Your job is not to change your note to please every ear, but to sound your own note as clearly, as purely, and as beautifully as you can. This deep settling into your own skin is the ultimate peace. It is the end of the search, the end of the struggle. It doesn't mean life will be without challenges or pain. The mountains and valleys are still there, but you are no longer trying to climb out of the valleys in a desperate panic. You can walk through them with a new sense of trust, knowing they are a part of your landscape, and knowing you have the strength to navigate them. You can stand on your peaks and enjoy the view, without the fear that one misstep will send you tumbling down. You are at home in your entire landscape now. You have learned its terrain. You trust its wisdom. As you lie here, letting sleep come closer, let your body absorb this feeling of integrated peace. Let it become your new default setting. Let every cell, every nerve, every bone recalibrate to this new reality of self-acceptance. There's nothing left to prove, nothing left to fix, nothing left to strive for. There is only the simple, profound, and deeply peaceful act of being. Being you, fully, authentically, and finally, with a quiet and unshakable joy. The journey has been long, but you have arrived. Welcome home. As this profound sense of being at home in yourself settles into the deepest layers of your being, a gentle unraveling begins. It is the final, soft letting go that precedes the arrival of sleep. Everything that we have explored together tonight, the insights, the feelings, the new perspectives, has done its work. Now, it is time for the thinking mind to rest. It is time to release the story altogether, even this new, more compassionate story, and to drift into the pure, wordless peace of deep rest. The story of the other you, that ghost of the normal life, has been fading for some time. Now, it dissolves completely. It has no more energy, no more charge. It is like a cloud of mist that the sun has finally burned away, leaving only the clear, blue sky of your own true nature. If you try to call its image to mind, you might find that it is blurry, indistinct. It has lost its power to enchant you, to wound you. It is just a memory of an old dream, and it recedes now, growing smaller and smaller, until it vanishes into the quiet horizon of your mind. And as that old story disappears, your own conscious thought begins to soften and dissolve along with it. The voice in your head that analyzes, that plans, that remembers, that worries, that voice grows quieter now. Its words begin to stretch and blur, losing their sharp edges. The thoughts become less and less important. They are like distant traffic, a low hum in the background that you no longer need to pay attention to. You are gently withdrawing your attention from the world of ideas and concepts and allowing it to rest completely in the world of pure sensation. The need to figure things out, to understand everything, is falling away. That work is done for today. You can trust that the wisdom you have touched upon tonight has been absorbed on a deeper level. It is not in your thoughts anymore. It is in your bones. It is in your breath. It does not need to be rehearsed or remembered. It is simply part of you now. You can feel this gentle unraveling in your body. Your body, which has been settling and integrating, now moves into a state of profound release. It feels heavy, not the old, burdened heaviness of exhaustion and struggle, but a new, pleasant heaviness, a restorative weight, the weight of deep relaxation. It is the feeling of gravity doing its gentle, perfect work, pulling you down into the mattress, down into a state of absolute support and rest. Feel this heaviness in your limbs. Your arms are heavy. Your legs are heavy. Your head feels heavy and perfectly supported by the pillow. There is no effort required to hold yourself up any longer. You can surrender your full weight. You can let go completely, trusting that you are held, safe, secure. Let your awareness drift through your body, noticing this deep, pleasant weight. Your feet feel heavy and warm. Your ankles and calves are soft and released. Your knees and thighs have let go of all tension. Your hips have opened and settled, releasing the deep muscles that hold so much of our daily stress. Your belly is soft. Your chest is open and at ease. Your shoulders have melted down and away from your ears. Your arms, wrists, and hands are utterly still and heavy. Your neck and your jaw are slack and peaceful. Your face is smooth. Your entire physical being is in a state of deep, quiet repose. It is ready for rest. It is ready for the deep cellular healing that happens only in sleep. Your body knows exactly what to do. It is an incredibly wise organism. All you have to do is get out of its way. And you are doing that now. You are gently stepping aside, allowing the deep, innate intelligence of your body to begin its nightly work of restoration and renewal. The sounds of the room are fading. The boundary between your body and the bed is blurring. The boundary between the air you breathe and the air in the room is becoming less distinct. Everything is softening. Everything is merging into a single, peaceful field of sensation. There are no sharp edges anymore. There are no problems to solve. There is no one to be, nothing to do. There is only this gentle, effortless drift, this slow, sweet unraveling. You are a tightly wound knot that is now finally coming undone, releasing all its stored tension, becoming a soft, loose, and peaceful thread. You are on the shore of a vast and quiet ocean, the ocean of sleep, and you are ready now to let its gentle waters receive you. There is no resistance left. No part of you is holding on. Every fiber of your being is aligned with this single, simple intention to rest, to let go, to surrender to the profound, healing peace that is your birthright. The day is complete. Your work is done. You have come home to yourself, and now it is time to rest in that home, deeply and without dreams, until the morning comes. The gentle unraveling continues, pulling you deeper and deeper into the quiet tide of slumber. Sleep is coming for you now. It is not something you have to chase or strive for. It is a natural force, like the tide returning to the shore. You can feel its approach, a slow, inexorable, and deeply comforting advance. Imagine you are lying on a vast, peaceful beach at twilight. The day, with all its activity and effort, is over. The sky is soft with fading light. The air is still and warm. You are lying on the soft sand, and you can hear the gentle sound of the ocean in the distance. For a while, the tide was out, and there was a wide expanse of shore. This was your waking mind, the space where thoughts could run and play. But now, the tide is turning. You can hear the sound of the waves growing a little closer, a little more insistent. Shh, shh. A gentle, rhythmic whisper. This is the sound of sleep coming. Each wave that washes up on the shore is like a wave of drowsiness. The first wave comes and just touches your toes. A feeling of warmth and heaviness spreads through your feet. You don't have to do anything. You just allow it to happen. Then another wave, a little bigger this time, washes up over your legs, up to your knees, and your legs become completely heavy, completely relaxed, sinking down into the soft, warm sand. There is no effort. The tide is simply doing what it does. effortlessly, naturally. Another wave comes, larger still, and it washes over your hips and your torso, and you feel your entire lower body surrender, letting go of any last vestige of tension. The deep core muscles of your body release into the support of the earth beneath you. And the sound of the waves is so soothing, so hypnotic. Shh, shh. Each wave is a gentle command to let go more deeply. Let go of the day. Let go of the story. Let go of the effort. Let the tide take you. It knows where it is going. It is going to the deep, quiet, healing ocean of sleep. There is nothing left to figure out tonight. The complex equations of your life, the questions about who you are and where you are going, they have all been put aside. You can trust that the quiet, intuitive part of your mind will continue to work on them while you sleep, in a way that is far more wise and creative than your conscious mind could ever be. You have handed over the problems to a greater intelligence within you. Your only job now is to rest. There is nothing left to change about yourself. You have arrived at a place of deep acceptance, of wholeness. You are enough, exactly as you are, lying here now. This acceptance is the soft sand that holds you, that cradles you, allowing you to rest in the truth of your own being. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be taken away. You are complete. And in that completeness, you can find the deepest rest. Each breath out is another act of release. It is a small wave receding from the shore, taking with it any remaining traces of thought or tension. With every exhale, you are letting go. You are drifting deeper. The distinction between your body and the bed, between you and the room, between you and the sound of the waves, is dissolving. It is all becoming one peaceful, unified experience, one gentle rhythmic flow, in and out. The rise and fall of your chest is the rise and fall of the tide. You are a part of this vast natural rhythm. You are not separate from it. You are held within it, rocked by it, soothed by it. The conscious thinking you is becoming very, very small. It is like a single grain of sand on this vast beach, and it is about to be washed into the great peaceful ocean. It is a sweet surrender, a homecoming, the dropping of a great burden. You are letting go of the need to be the driver, the controller, the one who has to figure everything out. You are allowing yourself to be carried, to be floated, to be held in a state of profound trust and peace. The water is warm. It is safe. It is the very element from which life first emerged. To return to it is to return to your source, to a place of deep, timeless, and unconditional peace. The words you are hearing now are becoming part of the sound of the ocean. They are losing their individual meanings and are simply becoming a soothing vibration, a gentle current that is nudging you further and further out from the shore of wakefulness, further and further into the deep, dark, comforting embrace of sleep. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to resist, just the gentle, irresistible pull of the tide, adrift deeper and deeper and deeper into a peace that is beyond words, a peace that is your true nature, a peace that is waiting for you, always, just on the other side of your last waking thought. Let it take you now. Let it all go, and rest. As the last echoes of thought fade into the vast, quiet ocean of sleep, there is only this: a gentle, rhythmic presence, a soft, boundless peace. The shore is gone. The story is gone. There is only the gentle, effortless floating in the deep. You are not the struggling swimmer anymore. You are not even the one who is floating. You are the ocean itself. vast, deep, and utterly at peace. Here, in this final moment of conscious awareness, a few final thoughts can arise, not as problems to be solved, but as gentle, glowing embers in the darkness, illuminating the truth you have found tonight before they too fade to black. Isn't it a strange and beautiful paradox that the desperate, lifelong effort to become someone else, someone normal, was the very thing that kept you from the peace you were seeking? And that in the moment of surrender, the moment you finally stopped trying, you found you had arrived at a home more real and more beautiful than any fantasy. All that energy you spent judging your sensitivity, what if that was simply the energy of a deep heart trying to protect itself in a world that didn't always know how to be gentle? All the anxiety you felt from your complex mind, what if that was simply the friction of a powerful engine designed for navigating vast and intricate landscapes, being asked to drive in slow circles in a small, paved parking lot? The problem was never the engine. The problem was the confinement. And tonight, you have given yourself permission to leave the parking lot, to see the vast, open country of your own soul, and to begin, finally, to drive, to explore, to be the magnificent, complex, and powerful being you were always meant to be. The world may never fully understand you, and what a profound relief it is to realize that it doesn't have to. The oak tree does not need the pine tree to understand its gnarled branches. The river does not need the highway to understand its winding path. They simply are. Your purpose is not to be understood, but to be. To be yourself so fully, so authentically, so unapologetically, that your very presence becomes a kind of permission slip for others to do the same. Perhaps the greatest gift you can give to the world is not to conform to it, but to offer it the unique, irreplaceable beauty of your own true nature. And what of love? For so long, you may have believed that you needed to fix your flaws to be worthy of love. But now, you can see the truth. The parts of you that you thought were unlovable, your vulnerability, your intensity, your quirks, are the very gateways to the deepest connections. We do not truly love the perfect, polished surfaces of one another. We love the cracks. We love the places where the light gets in. We love the unique, messy, beautiful truth of who a person is. By finally offering that love to yourself, you become capable of receiving it and giving it on a level you could never have imagined before. You have become your own beloved, and from that place of fullness, all other love can flow. So drift now. Drift into the deep, healing peace you so richly deserve. Let these words be the final, gentle current that carries you away completely. Let them be a soft blanket tucking you in for the night. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to know. You have done the brave and beautiful work of coming home. Now, all that is left is the sweet, simple, and profound act of rest. Let the quiet of sleep come to greet you like an old, trusted friend who has been waiting patiently for your return. You are whole. You are enough. You are exactly where you are, meant to be. Rest now, just as you are,